Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you can create your web servers both on Windows and Linux. Now to do this, you have to ensure that you have got machines that are up and running. If you are using on a public platform, make sure you have got public IP addresses available. If you have watched my previous videos where I showed you how to create Windows and Linux machines, you will notice that I have got two machines with two separate IP addresses and two private IP addresses. Now, just to inform you or let you know, the private IP address never changes. Public IP address, every time you restart your machine, stop and start, it will change. So I'm going to show you that first. Before I do this, I click on this, and I say stop. The moment I stop the instance, and you will notice that I'll soon lose my public IP addresses. But in none of the cases, I will not lose my private IP addresses. So it is still working, it's running, and see, my public IP address is gone, but my private IP address has remained the same. It will never change. So again I select both of them, I click and say start, and now you will notice that I will have new set of IP addresses. So it will just take a bit of a while for the IP addresses to appear. Now you see we have got a new set of IP addresses. So remember one thing, it can be an exam question if you are going for certification. If you are restarting the machine, IP addresses do not change. If you are stopping and starting the machine, the public IP addresses will change. The private IP addresses will remain the same. Private IP addresses are for the life of the system. Till you do not terminate the services, private IP addresses will not change. Now here I go. If I click on this is my new public IP address, and if I click on this for Windows, this is my new public IP address. So I click on this, the machines are up and running, and I have checked on this and they are running. It's showing, it's still showing initializing. So machines are not ready, we have to wait till we have 2 by 2 checks passed. So once we have 2 by 2 checks passed, we can start using those systems. So we may have to wait for a couple of minutes maybe. We'll again click and check if the machines are ready. Now they are still initializing, so we have to wait, otherwise we will not be able to connect to the machines. Let me try and connect the machine in the meanwhile, if I can. So I'll open my terminal window and I'll click on clear, and I'm going to use the new IP address for the Linux machine, and the new IP address is 54.234.31.100. 54.234 .31.100. Let's try it. And here you are. It looks like we are connected. And yes, we are. Now if you remember, in my last video I have updated this machine, but I'll still run it. Sudo yum update -y. If there is any new package, it will show. No, it's been updated. Now I'm going to convert this into a web server. Sudo yum httpd, which is httpd install -y. Oh, sorry. Sudo yum install httpd, and here we go. Now the web server is getting installed now. So if it is a Ubuntu machine, then you have to run sudo apt. It will be sudo apt-get apache 2. So you have to look for the commands if it is a Ubuntu machine, but currently I'm using a Linux machine. In my future tutorials, I may use an Ubuntu machine to execute some activities and create a web server from there. So here it is. Now sudo service httpd start. Sudo service httpd status. Here it is. Now my web server is running. Now that means if I just type this IP address, which is 54, here it is, on this private IP address, but this is the public IP address. If I just click on connect and I just copy this IP address, click on the browser, type it, and I should have a web server up and running, but it will not show because the security group does not allow. To do this, we go back to our security groups, go to inbound rules, and once again I'm going to edit it, and this time I'm going to allow HTTP from anywhere. Save rules, saved EC2, here it is, and I click on refresh. This IP address, and here is your web server, which is being created on the Linux machine, and this is coming directly from this IP address, and it is showing a no secure sign because it is an HTTP, not HTTPS. So if I go here and I go down here and I say clear /www/html, I should come to this folder, and if I look here, I don't have any file. I go here and I say sudo echo, this is my HTML for the AWS web server / and I just copy it to index.html. Even with sudo command, okay. Sudo vi index.html. I is for insert, This is my first HTML file for the web server of AWS, and I'm going to use some normal tags, h1, b, and /b /h1, which is ending tag, and I just save it. Saving command is escape :wq, enter, and if I click here and I just refresh the page, now see, so whatever changes I have made here, now it is available. So the default index.html is being replaced by me, and this was the file that I have written, which I am showing you here. So this is how you can create or modify or edit your default web server, or you can replace the web server or the index.html file in this folder of escape:q, save without quitting. So we have to go into this folder, cd/var/www/html, and here now you will find that you have a file which is there, index.html. So here is one and here is one. So these are very important commands for you to, usually echo should also work. So echo basically, it's actually, I have written this command incorrect. I should have used instead of echo, I should have used the command cat. Maybe that's the error. If I use cat, oh, still it is not allowing me. That means the permission is not coming, even I'm using a sudo command. But that's okay. You can modify the file using the vi editor. So vi editor, and if I look here at ls-l, oh, the permissions are missing, so we don't have the permissions. I'm sure if I change it to sudo chmod 777 index.html, then it should work. Here it is. No such file or directory. Sudo here it is. Now the only thing that you will not see here is that the file is the same, but the content is slightly different, and we don't have those headers and bold commands. So if I just refresh the page here, see, it has just changed. So cat basically displays the content of the file, so greater than sign basically copies into the file. So sometimes bit confusion with the command. So this is how you create a web server using the Linux command. So I think it's simple, easy. The key commands that you need to remember is, first run this command. I'll give you a series of commands. The first command has to be sudo yum update -y. Once you have executed, then you have to run sudo yum install httpd -y. -y is for yes. After that you have done, then you have to run sudo service httpd start, then your service will start. Then you should run status. You will see a green line showing web server is running. Copy the IP address and your web server should be working. But make sure you have got port number 80 enabled in your security groups. So security groups, as I said, currently you just try to understand that it is a way of allowing the access to the machine, but we'll be discussing or talking about it in detail in videos to come. Now this is the key commands, and once you have changed it, you want to change or modify your file, then you just run this command sudo, here it is, cd/www var/www/html. Then you go and modify your index.html, which is sudo vi index.html, and that's all. You start seeing the commands here. Just refresh the page. You will review or preview the changes here. Now you can also connect this machine using direct connect of EC2 services here. If I click on this and if I click on connect here, you can also connect it using instance connect, and you can run all these commands over there also. So if I click on connect, here it is. The web server should be running. So if I go to cd/var/www/html and I say sudo vi index.html, this is the file which I have copied it. Now if I run the command h1 and I make it, I have to press I. Here it is, I. Until you press I, you will not be able to insert it. /h1/b as for bold. This is ending it, and to begin it, we need to write B, which is for bold, and H1, which is for header. Once you have done, escape, :WQ, done, and again refresh the page. It will again change. So you can also, you forget it what you have created on connect, just close the terminal and you can run it directly from here also. Now this is how you do your Windows machine. Now the same thing I'm going to show you how you are going to create a web server, on a Linux machine. Now I'll show you how to create a web server on Windows machine. Now Windows machine, our IP address has changed. We need to copy this IP address. We need to go to remote desktop protocol, change the IP address, which has changed now. Click on save, double click, and it will ask for password. So administrator is the username. If I click on connect, RDP, and administrator is the username. The password is here, which is the linkey.pim. Copy it, decrypt it, copy the decrypted key. As I said, the password will be this for the life of the system. Click on connect and you will be now connected to the Windows machine. So if you'll see, it is still connecting the inventories. So you have to wait till this moving blue line stops. And we are now going to make this machine into a web server. So it is just collecting the inventories and getting the system ready. So it's slightly slow at the moment connecting with the data center, it looks like. So it is ready. I click on add roles and features and I'm going to add a role and a feature. Next, next, next. We are going to use default, and this time I'm going to make it a web server. This is what we want to do. Add features, next. Just click on next, next, and everything is by default. Install. So we have to wait for the process to get completed. So once it is ready, click on close and your web server is ready. You can now go back to your machine, and this is the IP address, which is this 52.86.105.171. Here it is, 52.86.105.171. Click here, copy it, paste it, and you should see your web server shortly. See, here is your Windows server. You can change it. Again, I click on this, go back here, close it, click, go to my file explorer. Here is my this PC, and here is my local disk. Here is my inet pub. Here is my www root, and this is this image. This is the index.html file, and this is the start file. I just click on this and I click on edit, and I just type here funny things on Windows are about to begin. Click it, paste it, whatever you want to do, whatever color you want to use, anything your choice, whatever font you want, bold, times, whatever you choose, whatever you want to do, Arial black, that's it. Press save it, go back to this browser, refresh it, and here it is. So you can modify your file, or if you want, you can replace it with your choice of index.html. So this is how you create your web servers on Windows and Linux machines, and I look forward to see you in next video, where we will discuss more about EC2